Good afternoon. Thank you for joining us, Meghann. I would like to introduce you all to Meghann Conter. She uses her power to connect, elevate, entertain, and celebrate extraordinary women as the CEO of The Dames. The Dames is a global community designed specifically for women running and leading a 6- and 7-figure business. Meghann believes that anything can be accomplished through fearless collaboration, laughter, fun, and love. Once a burnt-out over network CEO, she is now the global ultra connector for women who thrive in the space where self-worth and network align. You can learn more about The Dames and Meghann at www.thedames.co. All right, Meghann, well, let's get started. Thank you for joining us. And my first question to you is, what does empowerment look like for you?
Yeah, I would say that it looks like each person individually going on their own journey to find the fullest expression and the fullest version of themselves. So it really looks like going inward first and doing a lot of self-growth work, a lot of self-love work, clearing out all the things that need to be healed, and then getting to this space of feeling fully embodied in your fully empowered self. And that's what creates empowerment for everyone on an individual basis, which is what it takes.
Awesome. Well said. Great. Can you give us a quick summary of your career so far?
Sure. So I had a really unsatisfactory first 6 years out of college. I graduated with a degree in marketing and went into corporate America and found myself very disappointed, needless to say, and got to a point where I was laid off from my last job, thank God, in marketing at an architecture firm back in 2008. And I was serendipitously placed by the universe with a bunch of different entrepreneurs who suggested that I start my own marketing coaching business. So I did, and that business evolved and changed and grew and morphed as good entrepreneurs do for many years, until I got to a point where I was leading other people's networking groups and really helping them grow their networks, and realized for myself that I wanted to be surrounded by other women who looked and seemed and heard and sounded like me. So it was really about finding other women who are at that 6-figure level, growing to 7 figures, and the 7-figure women who could be there as mentors and inspiration. And I had a very difficult time finding that here in Denver, so I created it. The other thing I wanted to make sure that was different about this new network that I created was that I was bored to tears at most networking events. I was also perpetually business card stabbed at most networking events. And I also felt like there was a target on my back at most networking events. Somebody must be there to hunt for me to try to get me as their next client. And so we wonder why there's always this negative perception of networking. It's because of those things. It's the traditional ways of networking that have really left a bad taste in everyone's mouth. So as I was growing that marketing business, I decided to create fun and experiential events here in Denver for women running 6- and 7-figure businesses. They exploded, they expanded, and we got to the point where we were ready to go someplace else. So we rebranded to The Dames, and I launched our international online global platform. And we became The Dames. We became this international membership hub for women running 6- and 7-figure companies. And we have since grown our membership to over 37 states here in the US and on 4 continents. We have local chapters in 7 different markets here in the US, and that will be growing internationally within the next couple of months. And we provide all kinds of curated education, inspiration, and connection events specifically based on the needs, wants, and desires of our business owners that are part of the community. So that's where we are now.
I can attest. I have been to one of your events and it was the best. You had a comedian there and a few other really fun things, and it was so worth the time spent. And I've been to those really boring network events. So I am one of your new fans in this area for sure. So, okay. Can you tell me what qualities or skills have most enabled you to be successful in business?
Yeah, I think, intuition is number one. And I don't think that's a skill. I think it's an innate quality that we all have that we can develop. and it's within all of us. It just needs to be found and activated. So that is the number one fix all to every problem that anyone could ever have, is get tapped into your own intuition and listen to your guidance and follow what it says, especially as a woman. If you try to look outside of yourself for the solution, you'll always get hit by spiritual 2x4s and brought back within anyways. So you may as well just listen to yourself from the very beginning. But it's not the mind. It's definitely bypassing the mind and going into the intuition, which is not, it's not innate for some people. So it does take some learning. That would definitely be one of them. And within that, there comes a lot of other things. Having a lot of support from people around you who know, like, and trust you, who can help see your vision and who can hold you to that vision and hold it up for you as a picture that you can look at when there are times that are difficult, who can remind you of your brilliance, who can remind you of what you're here to do. That's always really important. And for you to have those things in front of yourself at all times as well. There's a lot of things that we can do as business owners to build a really strong foundation so that when those times of trials and tribulations come, as they will, we are brought back to the reason why we started in the first place and reignited every single time.
Awesome. Well, and you were talking about like having particular people to hold up a mirror and to guide you and everything. Can you tell me about a particular influential woman who's empowered you in your own work?
It's funny. This question gets asked a lot, and a lot of people will say, oh yeah, it was Michelle Obama, or it was, this or that. And what I can say every time is that it was my parents always supported me. They always knew that I was here to do big things. And they always said, whatever that is, we're here to support you. My mom has been a very strong, feminine, strong woman in my life who has always modeled for me what it looks like to be your best self. And she's always been the one to teach me how to work a room, how to build your network, how to help others first before you look for help yourself. And so that's been a big inspiration. But then also my father is a great businessman. And so he's always helped me understand the business side of things, which is, a vast majority of actually running a business that most people don't think about before they start a company. They think, oh, I'm a great marketer, so I'll start a business. Or, oh, I'm a great baker, so I'll start a bakery. But there's so much more to it that can really flub us up at some point down the line. So my parents have definitely been a good inspiration for me.
Like a great combination to, yeah, for sure. Okay, talk to us about a point or a time and a point in time or experience which taught you the importance of collaboration.
There's a billion. Literally every turning point in business is where collaboration comes in and shows us that if we're doing it alone, we're probably not very happy. So definitely for me, it's always been having outside eyes on my business. Now, I know a lot about myself. I know that I am best when I can process my intuitive thoughts out loud, and then I can get real clear on them when I do that. So for me, there's a moment that got me really clear when I was running my marketing business. This was 2015. And I was sitting in my business mastermind group and surrounded by 24 other people who I'd been with in this cohort for several years, and saying, something's not going right in my marketing business. All of these things that I've tried, they don't seem to work. I'm trying to scale this business. I'm trying to grow it, and I keep hitting these ceilings. And long story short, it came to this point of realizing that I had not lived in my values for quite some time in my business. And so I came back to the understanding and the knowing that fun and love are my top two values, and that I needed to have that around me at all times, especially in business. And the realization of the others around me who helped me come to that understanding was what created this pivot for me to help me get to the point of starting what was Denver Dames back then. So the collaboration of this cohort of people who I knew, loved, and trusted were the ones who gave me that safe space to create something huge and beyond what I had ever imagined before. And, it's been having that kind of support around me all of these years since that day that has helped me feel more fulfilled in my business, that has helped me get farther than I ever thought I could, and that will continue to be there with me as we bring this internationally and we're in, hundreds of countries all around the world. So that collaboration is key, and we've really embedded that in the life and the culture of the Dames, and that is palpable when you come to our community.
Right. With this next question, I feel like this could tie into it. What does new networking look like, and how should women approach building a network or a community where they could thrive?
Yeah. So like I said earlier, I was experiencing all the negative things that we typically hear about networking. The business card stabbing, the feeling like you're being hunted, what I like to say is I like to joke about people who enter into the networking witness protection program because they're so tired of all the things that keep happening over and over again. Well, and that's just because there are so many networks out there that unfortunately haven't gotten very innovative. So if we can transform our concept of building a network from one where we're looking for the person who will, hire next, or who will hire us next, or who will, give us our next job, or whatever the case may be, and we transform that idea to one of, okay, I'm going to go build a network full of people that are my power partners, which means these are the people who are connected to many, many, many of our ideal clients, or they're connected to many, many, many people out there who are in jobs that in positions for hiring that we want to get to know. So if we can really transform that concept to this one to many, going to our power partners who become this golden goose, this proverbial golden goose that will lay continuous golden eggs for us, we can really actually start to get something out of our networking instead of what I was getting, which was stacks and stacks of business cards that translated into absolutely nothing. And just really, quite honestly, ended up having me go to more coffee meetings and more wine networking meetings than I ever needed to go to, and really wasted lots and lots of time, money, and energy. So it's really about going through that transformation and believing in something new, some other kind of possibility, because that's how change and transformation happens. We have to believe that it's possible. We have to have the mindset of what collaboration looks like. We have to have an abundant mindset to know that, yes, if I jump and I make this radical change, the net will appear, and it'll be far more fulfilling and far more effective in the long run than anything we've ever done before.
Super inspirational. Thank you. So I really love what you said about going into your own intuition and going and clearing out your own stuff. And any other tips, top 3 tips, or as many as you'd like for young women starting out in their own careers and businesses?
Yeah. So from a structural standpoint, I believe that structure can create freedom. And I love freedom. I love to be able to do whatever I want whenever I want. And that can be a huge misconception for a lot of business owners when they get started in their business. Women will leave corporate all the time to go and start their own business to say, I want more freedom of time. I want more freedom of money. I want more freedom of XYZ, only to come to find out that, oops, that doesn't just come with signing up for your business on, your government Secretary of State website or whatever it is where you are. That's not what happens. So what we really need to do, and this goes for if you're in a career or if you're starting your business, is get clear as soon as you possibly can on what your big picture vision is. Where are you headed in life? And this can be difficult when you've never been in business before. So I highly recommend working with a coach or working with someone who can help you get clear on, what is my path? What is this epic mission that I'm going to go head out on? And then also get extremely clear, crystal clear on the target audience that you're here to help. The more narrow you develop that niche, the more clear you get, and the more you say it out loud over and over and over again, the more clients you're going to attract, the better clients you're going to attract, and the easier business is going to be. And third, when you've figured out your mission and vision and you've figured out who your target audience is, make sure that you develop your products and services based on the needs, wants, and desires of that target audience in combination with what you're really, really good at and how you can deliver the services or the content that you deliver. And as you can tell, I come from a service background. So If you're starting a product-based business, I'm not the person to listen to. I know nothing about it. But when you're in that space, even of getting in a new career, it's kind of the same thing, right? Think about where you're wanting to head and where you would like to see yourself in 10 to 15 years. If you're wanting to be the head of a certain division of a company, or if you're wanting to run a company, whatever the case may be that you're headed for, start with the end in mind to the best of your ability, and then get clear on as many of those milestones that you're going to need to hit along the way. Those are some of the pieces that I would recommend.
Nice. What do you feel is most important for women to know when they are growing their businesses into the 7-figure mark?
Yes. So the other thing that women tend to do when they start their businesses, and men a lot of times too, is work way harder than they've ever worked before. It's a trap, and it happens to a vast majority of us, where we wake up one day and realize that we traded that 6-figure job, or we traded that job, or we decided to start our business. And now we have these handcuffs and we are chained to our computers, 7 days a week, 12-hour days. And we've realized, oh my gosh, I'm not living the dream that I thought I was building here. So there are many different ways of really looking at how you can slim down your business and get it to a place of more simplicity, and also create more structure in your business that can create freedom. So I would say making sure that you're following and focusing on building your systems and your process and your people in your business. The more you can do that, the more structure you can create that you can fall back upon, the more people you have that you can rely on, the easier your job as the CEO gets. And then you can start to work your way up into your zone of genius, and only working in your zone of genius as the CEO 24/7, as opposed to being, the whole concept of the cook, the bottle washer, and the janitor. Everything, having all of the jobs all in one, is not so glamorous after you get to a certain point. So really looking at all of those components and making sure that you're building those in your business, and you will continue to do that as you up level every single time. It'll just get clearer and clearer, and you'll revamp and you'll evolve, because that's what you do as an entrepreneur.
That's so great. I mean, I feel like it's so countercultural, especially for Americans. You work hard, you work late, you wake up, you don't hardly take any vacation. And I really love that countercultural way of looking at it, to kind of re-enter joy into your life, and enjoy your work. So, and then, so how would you say that you stay inspired and motivated to work day to day, specifically when we're all in this pandemic, and quite often a lot of people are isolated and working from home?
Yeah, so I have worked from home since I started my business. So I'm very used to this. It's my preferred environment. I thrive working from home. I used to hate having to commute someplace. It was like even a 10-minute drive was too much for me. So I have great boundaries that I've set up though, as well. I didn't used to, and I used to allow my work to continue all the time. And so that's when sort of that last point of really starting to get to the point of setting those boundaries and making sure that you have the people on your team to handle a lot of the things that you shouldn't be doing, and setting up your schedule, setting up your time by looking at when your energy is best and when your energy is most focused to do certain tasks and to do certain things that you need to do to work on the business and to grow it. And then be able to make sure that you're, saving all of the rest of things that you need to do for those times when you may not be your freshest. And for me to keep motivated, it's that vision. It's that mission that I know that I'm here to do, and that I'm taking action steps toward every single day. There's not a day that goes by that I don't visualize or think about where we're headed, and that I don't see in action in the community and outside of it, the amazing, beautiful things that we're creating, what that's doing for people, and the ripple effects it's having for all of our community members, our power partners as the dames, and so many people beyond that. And we're really creating this just fun and love ripple that goes outward. And that for me is what continues to fuel me and keep me inspired every day.
Thanks. So Meghann, what is your ultimate career goal for 2021?
Yeah, so we grew 100% last year, and we will grow at least 100%, if not 150% is our goal for this year. So we are starting out the year with almost 400 members, and we will be at 800 by the end of the year, and we will have an additional 7 to 10 new chapters. What's most important with all of this is that we create a dependable, loving, creative, supportive network all the way along. And so we are consistently working on making sure that the quality is the highest of our members, of our programs, of our connections, of everything that we do for our members. And that's what really helps us continue to grow, because our reputation precedes us and it just keeps getting better and better as we grow.
To hear that you grew by 100% in 2020 is, not much good news comes out of 2020, but it sounds like it happened for you. So congratulations. That speaks loudly.
What you focus on will happen. So we focused on the good, and we focused on the relationships, and we focused on helping people and really making sure that our community had everything that they needed. And that's what happened as a result. So
that's awesome. Well, thank you. Thank you for your time. This was fun hearing from you and your success and all your wisdom that you had to share. I so appreciate you taking the time to do this with us.
Absolutely. Thank you, Sarah.
All right. Bye.